So, did you think about a question?
I didn't. I didn't have a chance.
Okay. No problem, no problem. So, why don't you tell me then first some kind of theme that would be interesting for you? Is it a theme in general that interests you? Any theme?
A theme in general?
Yes, you know. Football, whatever, you know. Is it a theme that particularly interests you?
I'm sure there are, I just can't think of any.
Oh, just if something you know you're interested in. Or that either because you like it, or because it preoccupies you, anything that you say, okay.
I suppose I don't know, just the way people behave interests me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go with it.
Yeah.
So, the way people behave.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, the way people behave, do you see anything where that's surprising, you're wondering about it, or no, you behave is no problem?
Yeah, I find people's behaviour surprising all the time. Yeah.
So, what would be some question you could ask about this?
One thing that I find really surprising is the way lots of people manage to live very ordered lives, and I wonder how they do it. Yeah.
All right, okay. Many people live very ordered life.
Yeah.
You wonder how they do it, then I want now you to phrase the question. Just put it together so it sounds like a question.
Okay.
People manage a very ordered life.
Yeah.
You want to know how to do this, just put the question together. Make it simple, don't worry.
I have to talk about it
Okay.
more. Yeah, okay.
Let me put it to you. Your question is, how do people manage to live a very ordered life?
Yeah, and I want to qualify that. Just stick with that, yeah?
That question. Do you ask yourself this question or no?
Yes.
Yes.
How do they manage to live a very ordered life?
So that's a question you can ask yourself.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't that derive immediately from what you have told me?
Yes. Yeah.
So why don't you just say that?
Okay.
But you notice why you first wanted to refuse it, what you said? You remember what you have said?
Yeah,
I proposed you a question and you said no, and you said something, remember?
To qualify it, yeah.
Yes, okay. Now, what is that business of wanting to qualify? What is that all about? You say, I want to qualify it. What's that?
I just ordered in the sense of.
No, the wanting to qualify.
Why did I want to qualify?
Yes, what's this business of wanting to qualify? What's that for? What is it?
Because I'm ambiguous about.
Okay.
Ambivalent about order.
Okay. Yeah. Because you're ambivalent, yes?
Yeah.
So because you're ambivalent, you want to qualify.
Yeah.
Yes? So you don't like when something is ambivalent.
Yes.
Alright? That bothers you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let me ask you something. People who like ordered things, do they like what is ambivalent or they don't like it?
I guess they don't.
They don't, right?
Yeah.
So, if you don't like what's ambivalent, it might mean that you would like what's ordered.
Yeah.
Alright. And in fact, do you like in general what's ordered?
Yes and no.
Well, I would ask you first to, that's why I see the yes, why the no. Why yes?
Because then things are predictable and smooth and unproblematic.
Okay, things are predictable, smooth, unproblematic, yes. And why is it you don't like it?
Because I think you have to close off a lot of your reactions to things and then it gets boring.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have to close off. Close off to what?
To possibilities and...
You have to close off possibilities and therefore it's boring.
Yeah.
So you feel split between this yes and this no.
Absolutely, yeah.
So are you ambivalent?
Yes, I suppose
Yes.
I am.
But do you like what's ambivalent? Based on what we have seen?
Not really.
No. So do you like the way you are right now? Ambivalent?
No, I don't
No.
like it.
All right. So, it makes sense that you ask yourself, how do people manage to live a very ordered life? Because you like that, and at the same time you have a hard time being it. You're not it. Right?
Absolutely,
yes.
yeah.
Is that some experience that you know of? You're familiar with this experience?
Yes,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But altogether, then, do you want a very ordered life or no? You have to make a choice now. Do you want one or no?
I can't decide.
Well, why can't you decide?
Because it'll be safe but boring, and I hate boring.
Yeah, but that doesn't tell me why you can't decide. You give me an argument.
Because I can't decide, because if I decide one thing,
yes,
you know, to be ordered or be safe, but I won't like the consequences.
No, don't go into the content. I was wondering why you can't decide. Because if you have one thing, what's going to happen?
I'm going to miss out on something else.
You're going to miss out on something else. Yes. Okay. You have children, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen this in your child or your children, that when they want both things at the same time? Have you observed this?
Yeah.
You know? Yes?
Yeah.
Who has taught them this?
Me, probably.
Yeah. Does that surprise you or not?
No.
Have you ever thought of that?
No.
Never thought of it?
Not really.
No? But you kids do this, or you have seen this, yes? And when a child does that, he wants both. He says, well, you got to choose. What's your best argument to tell him to choose?
To work out what's really important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Work out what is really important. But does he want to do it or not really? To work out what's really important. The child does that readily or not readily?
No, it's difficult.
Why is it difficult?
Because they really don't know what is important.
Okay.
Yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah.
So it's because they're ignorant of it.
Yeah.
Okay. They don't know what's important. Yes. Now, do you know what's important or not?
No, I don't think I do.
No. So you're in the same situation.
Yeah.
All right. Now, then let's try to see what we can do. Somebody's got to decide. He cannot have both. He has to decide what's important. Now, his problem is he doesn't know what is really important. You get the picture? Let's just for fun try to find a solution. What could we do in that kind of context? You get any proposal? Did you get the picture clear in your head? No? Try it. Let me put it to you again, right? Somebody feels, slipped into two things. He has to choose. To choose, he has to determine what's really important. But he doesn't know what's really important.
Yeah.
But still, he has to choose. What can he do?
Make an arbitrary decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make an arbitrary decision. Yes? Is that something you know as an experience, to make arbitrary decision?
Yeah.
Yes. So you use that trick.
Sometimes, yeah, I have used it.
So you have used it. Well, why don't you use it all the time?
Because sometimes it ends up very, very disastrously.
It ends up disastrously.
Sometimes it works okay. It works, and other times it doesn't.
Yeah, but do you know any kind of decision that doesn't take the risk of ending up disastrously?
No, not really.
No. So why don't you do it then? Use arbitrary decision. What's wrong with it?
Because I think that it's not having enough control.
Okay, that's not having enough control.
Yeah.
Arbitrary is not enough control.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like throwing a dice.
Okay, and you want control.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, measure up it.
Control.
Yeah.
That's like order.
Yeah.
Yes, when there's control, there's order.
Yeah.
So actually, you want order.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's really confirmed.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. So, then you ask, how do people manage to live a very ordered life? Well, you have a solution through control. Yes? Well, you know how to do it then. Just control. Does that solve the problem or no?
No.
Why not?
Because I think it's bad for you to be controlling as a way of managing your world. I think you should be open to it.
Why is it bad to control?
Because I think it limits your possibilities and your openness, yeah.
It limits your possibilities.
Yeah.
Now, you don't like to limit your possibilities. You want to have little possibilities or lots of possibilities?
Lots of possibilities. Openness is really...
Do you see any problem with someone that wants lots of possibilities? You see any problem with this or no?
Yes.
Which problem?
That you might have no direction at all.
No direction at
Yeah.
all. If you have all possibilities, you have no direction at all. So, is one... What's the problem if one has no direction at all? What is this problem?
You might end up where you didn't want to be.
Okay, you might end up where you don't want to be.
Yeah.
So do you have control? If you end up where you don't want to be, are you controlling the situation?
No.
No. So, then what's the use of having all these possibilities if it's to lose control? For the situation?
Yeah.
And you know that situation? Or no? That's strange. Do you want all possibilities or do you want to have control? Well, you don't know.
I don't know. I
Okay.
want a certain openness,
But
but
if
not
you
shutting
don't know,
down.
just don't say anything.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
know.
I don't know.
Well, what would you tell a child that wants to keep all the possibilities handy? What do you tell them?
That it's not practical.
That's not
It's
practical.
not possible.
No, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Words are not practical, it's not possible. And if he wants it anyhow, you know it's not possible, what do you think of this child? How easy? If it's not possible, but he still wants it, what do you make of this child? How would you qualify it?
Unrealistic.
Unrealistic, yes. Alright. And is it possible you're unrealistic? Oh no, that's not possible.
No.
No.
I think actually I'm not an unrealistic
No.
person.
So
at
you
all.
think you're realistic or
I think-
unrealistic?
I think I'm actually fairly realistic.
No. So you would say you're rather realistic.
I think I am, yeah.
Then why don't you want to then limit the possibilities? Do you see the contradiction we have here?
Yeah, yeah.
So do you want all possibilities or no? You want to limit the possibilities?
I don't want all possibilities.
Well, would you rather have limited possibilities or unlimited possibilities?
Limited possibilities. I don't mind limited
So
possibilities, yeah.
You don't mind, but did you mind 5 minutes ago?
I don't...
No, 5 minutes ago, did you tell me this was a problem? To have limited possibilities or no? Well, you don't remember.
I do.
What, did you tell me that there was a problem to have limited possibilities?
I think it's just in the scale.
No, I think
Yeah,
you
yeah,
tell
I
me.
did.
You
I
did.
Yes, I
Alright.
did. Yeah.
So do we have a contradiction?
We do, yeah, yeah.
Huh? So, is it more that you want to limit possibilities or you don't want to limit possibilities?
I want to live with possibilities.
To limit them.
I want to...
Are you okay with limiting possibilities or no?
I'm okay with limiting them to a degree. I want all options again, you see.
Okay. Right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, are you realistic or no? No. So you're not realistic.
Yeah.
In fact, did ever some people tell you that you were not realistic? Or nobody ever told you that? Or did people tell you that?
No, not really.
Nobody?
No,
Okay.
no.
But is it possible you're unrealistic?
Yes, in
Yes.
some areas, yes, yes.
Okay, but that's new to you.
This realization.
Yes, that you're unrealistic some way.
Yes.
It's a new idea. It didn't cross your mind before.
No, I was wrong before. People
Okay.
have said I'm unrealistic.
Okay, so
But I
people
didn't
told you.
believe them.
All right. Don't worry, that's a classical one. Huh? I go by rule, like in general, we find people have been told this. So,
Yes,
and that's just
yeah.
as a way to confirm.
Yeah.
So people told you and you told them, no, I'm realistic.
Yeah.
Yes? Feels funny?
Huh?
Feels funny? This?
Yes,
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Often there's a little rule that often people have better insights on what we are than what we
Yes,
think of ourselves.
absolutely. Yeah.
Does that surprise you or no?
No, it doesn't surprise me.
No, but
Yeah.
still when those people told you, no, I'm realistic.
No, that's not me.
You denied it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, well, so then, do you know then how people manage to live a very ordered life?
By being realistic.
By being realistic.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that's already first answer. And did you pick up? What is the main criteria for being realistic?
By limiting your options.
Limiting your options.
Yeah.
Yes. But limiting options is not something you like.
No.
No. Well, then let's try to do the following. I want you to find an interesting argument for limiting options. Somebody has a hard time limiting options, you find a good argument for it. Can we do this?
If you limit your options, then you have a much better idea of where you might go, what you're doing, so you have more
Okay.
control.
You have a better idea
Yeah.
of where you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that would convince someone?
I don't know.
Well, what do you think? Someone doesn't want to limit options, it's unrealistic. You say, well, look, if you limit options, you have a better idea of where you go. Do you think that would convince a person or no?
I think that's convincing.
That's convincing.
Yeah.
But did you ever tell you this idea before?
No.
No. So that's a new idea to you.
Yeah.
That if you limit options, you have a better idea of where you go.
Yeah.
Yes, that's an
Yeah.
idea which is new.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
But is that a very complicated idea?
I think it is.
It is?
Yeah.
What's complicated about it?
The idea of how to do it.
The how to do it.
Yeah.
Yes? How to do what?
How to do the limiting.
How to do the limit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what it's good for,
Yeah.
but then the problem is how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, try something. Just any idea about how to limit options.
You could work out consequences.
Work out consequences, yes. And what do you have to do for this? To work out consequences?
You have to have a pretty good idea of how things work.
You have an idea
Yeah.
of how things work.
Yeah.
And do you have a good idea of how things work?
Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't.
Alright, but you rather have, if you have to make a general statement,
Um,
would you have a rather good idea how things work or no?
No, I don't think I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in fact, somebody who doesn't have idea of how things work, is it realistic or unrealistic?
Unrealistic.
So it
Yeah.
seems to confirm the unrealistic
Yeah.
hypothesis, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you think, because you seem to have a normally functioning mind, I'm talking to you, you make sense, so what would be the problem of figuring out how things work? What do you think is the main
Not liking the
obstacle?
consequences.
Alright, not liking the consequences.
And being in denial, I
Okay,
think.
not
You know?
liking
Yeah, not liking the
consequences.
consequences. Or being in a dilemma. Yeah,
not
it's
liking
okay.
consequences and denial.
Yeah.
Now, I would like you to characterize such a person who has a hard time figuring out how things work because, you know, he doesn't like the consequences and therefore is in denial. I like to qualify such a way of functioning. You would say, that person is an adjective, something.
And
That person is, and then you put an adjective, you know, to qualify this person. It was a hard time figuring out how things work because he doesn't like consequences and is in denial. So that person is
cowardly.
okay, coward.
A coward.
That person is a coward,
Yeah.
yes. Is that okay with you? Is it an impression you know, the impression of being coward or
No,
not?
I'm not a coward at all,
You're not a
actually.
coward at all.
Yeah.
But, no, at least that. So, but you said when somebody's in denial, right? And doesn't like the consequences, and a possible explanation that the person is a coward. Is that a possible explanation?
It's a possible one, but I don't think I'm a
Well,
coward.
it's possible.
Mm.
Yes, no?
It's possible,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's examine it further just to see. Since we'll discover sometimes, we're thinking about ourselves, it doesn't, like we saw earlier, right?
Mm.
Surprising. What could be if a coward is, scared? Good?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
what could be someone be scared of when he doesn't know how things work, because he doesn't like the consequences and denial? What could that person be scared of, for example?
That they have no control.
That they have no control, yes. And in fact, you want to have control.
Yeah.
And the idea of losing control scares you.
Yeah.
So if you're scared about losing control, that can be called be coward.
Mm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yes, no?
Yeah.
So in a certain way, you are a coward.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Right? The kids will only be. The only difference, I think, is what are we scared of? But in other words, there's always that.
Yeah.
Yes? But that surprises you to say that you're a coward because you fear losing control.
Yeah.
That feels funny.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Why is that?
Because I don't think of myself as a coward.
Yes. Now, did we see that you want to look at things, but that you're in denial? Based on what you have said.
In denial.
Yes. So is it possible that you don't want to look at this
Yeah.
as well?
Yeah.
It makes sense?
Yeah.
But this idea of the cowardice, of the fear of losing control, that speaks to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try to see, what's the worst thing when you lose control? In other words, if you're scared of something, you meet a lion, you're scared of the lion. Why are you scared of the lion? Because
It could kill you.
he could kill you. So
Yeah, it could lose your life.
how about losing control? What's the worst thing can happen that could scare you?
That you could lose something valuable.
You can lose something valuable,
Yeah.
like what, your jewels?
No, your life.
You would lose your life.
Yeah,
Yes,
or
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What is it called when you lose your life?
Oblivion.
Oblivion.
Yeah.
Now, let me check the signification, in English of oblivion. Oblivion means that
Wiping out.
wiping out.
Could be, yeah.
Your wife is wiped. Your life is wiped out.
Yeah, wiped out.
Okay,
Yeah.
your life is wiped out. Yes. Okay, life is wiped out. Yes. Makes sense to you?
Mm.
That you would be worried that your life is wiped out?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
It's an experience you know?
Yes.
Okay, so it makes sense, huh?
Yeah.
Now let me tell you, you exist right now.
Yeah.
You're here, you have a presence.
Yeah.
So I'm saying this just so, then how can your life be wiped out? How would that go?
You could be annihilated as a person.
Okay, annihilated as a person.
Yeah.
Okay, but there again, I'm asking you the same question. I see you, I can touch you,
Yeah.
there's a being there.
Yeah.
So how can you be annihilated as a person?
As your body might be here, but you could be annihilated as a self. It could be
As a self.
Yeah, as a
Okay.
self. Yeah.
Tell me, how do you annihilate a self? For example, what can happen that could do this?
You would lose relation with yourself and
Okay.
people. Yeah.
You lose relation
Yeah.
to yourself,
Yeah.
to yourself
And others.
and others.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you to make a choice here, and it's terrible, but what do you think is most essential to the annihilation? Is to lose relation to yourself or to others? Which one is most essential?
Others.
To others. So losing relationship to others,
Yeah.
that's annihilation, yes?
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Yes. Now, you live in a city, there are people, right? So, what does it mean to lose relation to others since you're surrounded by people?
You become invisible.
You become invisible, yes? Okay. But then let's, you know what I'm going to say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
See you.
You can see me.
Yes, so what does that mean you become invisible?
There's no connection.
Give me an example. Give me an example of a connection so I see what it is for you, a connection. What's a connection? To be not invisible, what form takes a connection? Don't think too much on that one, you know?
I don't.
See, so
to
far.
matter, to connect,
Yes,
to matter.
but
Yes.
see, is that abstract or concrete?
Concrete.
Oh yeah, to matter to someone, that's concrete. What that represents? Well, for example, does does your banker matter to you?
No.
No. If he cuts off all your credits, but your credit cuts off
Then
your
that
credit,
matters.
that matters. You
Yeah.
see? So does
Yeah.
your banker matter to you?
I suppose so.
I mean, suppose so. Does he or doesn't he? What would you think? Your banker matters to you or no?
Not ultimately, no.
Well,
No.
I don't want to.
No.
No. Does your baker matter to you?
No.
Does your neighbor matter to you?
Yes.
Your neighbor.
Yes.
Okay, we got somebody.
Yeah.
Why does your neighbor matter to you?
Because you're in relation with them.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Aren't you in a relation with your banker?
Not in a personal way.
No, wait a minute. I didn't say personal. I said, are you in a relation? with your
Yeah,
banker?
yeah.
Yes, you're
Yes.
in a relation.
Yeah.
So that relation to the banker is not okay. Why? Because what it is that matters then?
It's personal relation.
It's a personal relation.
Yeah.
But your banker is a person. Right?
Yeah.
So why do you say it's not personal?
Because I don't know him.
You don't know him.
Not really.
Well, he's Mr. Smith, your banker.
But I don't know anything about him.
You don't know, well, you know,
No,
he's a
I know
banker.
he's a banker.
All right, so,
Yeah.
so what do you want to know?
We don't relate. And
Yes, I
personally-
know, but you told me this already, but I want to know what it means for you not to relate. You say, I don't know him well. He's a banker, he's Mr. Smith.
He's a
bald.
functionary. He's a functionary.
Oh, so for you, a functionary, you cannot have a relationship with a functionary.
You can, yeah.
So what makes it you don't with this poor Mr. Smith? What is missing?
It's deep personal connection.
Deep personal connection.
Yes, yes.
Now, can you, to deep personal connection, can you put a more common name to this? Or give something we understand better? What does it mean, a deep personal connection? Your neighbor, you have a deep personal connection?
Well, deeper than I have with my banker.
I'm asking you if you have a deep personal connection with your neighbor or no.
Yeah, in the sense it
No,
matters.
not in
No,
this
I don't have a really deep one.
No, that one needs really need this. We have this concept, deep personal connection. Do you have a deep personal connection with your neighbor? Or no?
Yeah, I
You do?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So what makes it you have a deep, is it just because he lives next door that you have a deep personal connection to him? Or no, there's something else?
Yeah.
Or it's just because he lives next door?
No,
So what is there? What makes a deep personal
entwined
connection?
in each other's lives over many years.
Okay, so is it the duration that makes it determinant?
Caring.
The caring.
Yeah.
All right, the caring. Now, do you care about your banker? Or you don't know? Do you care about your banker? You don't care about your banker.
I do care.
All right.
Yeah.
So you care about your banker too. So does it surprise you that we still haven't got what makes this so-called relation that matters, that
Yeah.
we have not determined it? Does that surprise you or no?
Yeah.
Yes, it's strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, how can you explain the fact you're having a hard time defining a relation that matters when you want that? How come?
I don't know.
I don't know. But you told me that if you don't have that, you're annihilated, right? If you don't-
Yeah.
But at the same
I know
time,
what it feels like.
yeah, but at the same time, you don't know what the relation that matter is.
Yeah.
So, therefore, are you annihilated or no? Can you have a relation that matters if you don't know what it is?
Yeah.
Well, how do you do this? You have something and you don't know.
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
Because it's just experiential.
It's experiential,
Yeah.
yes?
It feels a certain way.
Okay, it feels a certain way.
Yeah, yeah.
But what is the thing you cannot do?
Can't define it.
You cannot define it.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, when you feel a certain thing, where are we in this thing? What feel are we in? When you feel a certain thing. When you say I have a feeling for a certain thing, what are you talking about? What is this called?
It feels...
No, I don't say what it feels. It's aware. Well, we have two things, feeling a certain thing and defining it.
Mm.
I want to know what are the two fields here, see? Defining it, what field are we in? What kind of things are we doing here?
We're defining.
Yes, but when you define, what are you doing?
Using your head.
Using your head.
Yeah.
And when you talk about feeling a certain thing,
Using
where are
your
you?
heart. Really.
Using your heart.
Yeah.
So you have things in your heart,
Yeah.
but you don't know in your head, you don't
Yes.
know what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, can that explain why one doesn't have an ordered life?
Could do.
Well, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Well, give sense. How does that work then?
Huh?
How does that work?
How does what work?
Well, somebody has a functioning heart, but his
Yeah.
head is not at the, in French you say the rendezvous, you know?
Yeah.
So what would
There's
you
a
call
split. There's some kind of split
There's
there.
a split at
Yeah.
first, but first there's a split.
Yeah.
But then, what seems to function?
The heart functions.
Yes, but the other thing, what is it called?
Head.
Yeah, but that head is metaphorical. What do you call that? What does the head do?
Thinks and conceptualizes.
Okay,
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
So, and the heart feels.
Yeah.
So the heart feels, but the head has a harder time thinking.
Yeah. Doesn't
Is that-
make sense of the heart.
Well, is that an experience that you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And does that create order, or rather the opposite?
The opposite. Yeah.
The opposite.
Yeah.
So that could be, a reason why you have difficulty to have an ordered life, right?
Mm.
And therefore, people who would have an ordered life, what's the possibility of explanation therefore?
They're in synthesis.
Their synthesis.
Yeah.
What? What and what?
Between head and heart.
Between the head and heart.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. But that's not your case.
No.
And this is something you know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. So therefore, somebody whose heart functions but not his head.
Or my head functions, not listening to my heart.
Well,
Yeah,
okay, then
sometimes.
let's suppose that's the case.
Yeah.
Let's suppose that's the case. Is that person tend to be realistic or unrealistic?
I don't know.
Well, what is more realistic, the thinking person or the feeling person?
Feeling person.
The feeling person is more realistic, yes?
Yeah.
Well, then you should be realistic.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Well, let's do the following. Let's go in the street, we take a poll on the streets of Melbourne. Hello people, we have two persons, a feeling person and a thinking person. Which one is more realistic? What will they say in the street?
They'll say the thinking person.
All right, but you think the opposite.
Yeah.
So you don't think like the other people.
No.
You don't think following common reason.
No.
Is that something you know, or you're discovering it? You don't think like common reason.
No, I think I know that.
You
Yeah.
know that,
Yeah.
right? Now, generally, what do we say about a person that doesn't think according to common reason? What do we say about this person? Well, do we say she's realistic, or do we say she's unrealistic?
Unrealistic.
Unrealistic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So are you being unrealistic again?
Yep.
But that unrealistic person, does that person like to say she's unrealistic, or no, she's not very realistic? You don't know.
I don't know.
Well, a person that trusts his heart more than his head, will that person say this is wrong, or the person will try to defend it? That's a good thing to do.
To defend it?
To defend it. So if you ask her, are you being realistic? It's possible to say, oh yes, I'm very realistic.
Depends what you mean by realistic.
Well, look, this is interesting. We've been using this word about 30 times.
Yeah.
So far, you never asked what it meant, plus, you know, and in fact, then you use first the word, and now you ask me what it means, saying it depends what it means. How do you explain this? That suddenly you don't know anymore what it means.
I use two standards of realistic.
Yes, so?
Yeah.
So if you use two standards, that means you have identified two ways to use the word. So you know what the word means. Normally you know what it means.
And they conflict.
Yes, but if they conflict, you know the two of them.
Yeah.
So how come you say you don't know what the word means? Do you see the problem?
I do have two ways of understanding realistic.
Yes, so suppose I say there are two ways to understand man as a species and as a sex, right? Yeah? Do I understand what's man? Do you understand what man is?
Yeah.
Yes. And if I did not know there were two meanings, would I understand it better or less? If I don't know there are two answers, then less.
Yeah.
I don't know there are two meanings. So when somebody knows there's a double meaning, he has a lot of knowledge about that word.
Yeah.
So you know there are two meanings to realistic and unrealistic, so you know this word.
Yeah.
So why do you claim you don't know it?
Because the meanings don't cohere.
Yes, so how about man and man? Do the meanings cohere? Is it the same thing to use man as a sex and man as a species?
No.
No. So it's normal that if you have two meanings they don't coincide.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's just one meaning.
Yeah.
So why suddenly this word seems to be bothering you? It's funny.
Yeah.
How do you explain that? We don't know.
Because if you go with one meaning, you end up in one path. If you go with another meaning,
Okay.
you end up somewhere else.
So there are two.
Yeah.
Give me the two meanings. Let's go.
Well, meaning
A or meaning A?
Meaning A, using your head, is conventional wisdom.
Okay.
Pragmatics.
Use your head.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pragmatics.
let me write it down. Use your head. Conventional wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay. Pragmatic.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first one.
Yeah.
Pragmatic. Second meaning. B.
Your experience and trusting what you know from your own experience.
Okay. Experience.
Yeah.
So you trust your own experience, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's trust experience. Now, does experience have something to do with pragmatism?
Oh yes, sometimes.
Good.
Yeah.
So when you use your head based on pragmatism, does it go together with trusting your experience or it goes against it?
It goes against it sometimes, yes it
No,
does.
wait a minute. In general, do experience and pragmatism go together or no? Is pragmatism founded on experience or on something else?
Pragmatism is what works.
Good. And experience, does it tell you what works? Your experience?
No, not always.
No, see.
No, it doesn't.
Do you notice how you add these words periodically to my questions?
Yeah.
Do you notice or no?
I do, yeah.
Suppose I said, do you go to the movies? I don't always go to the movies. Does that make sense to say this?
No.
Alright, so but you notice how there you added always.
Yeah.
Now, why if I would ask somebody, do you go to the movies? And it says, well, I don't always go to the movies. Why would a person add this always there? Why? What's the function of this always? Do you know?
Because my experience isn't pragmatic.
No, I'm not talking about experience, but about always.
Always.
Why would someone add always? Do you go to the movies? Oh, I don't always go to the movies. What's always doing here? What's its function?
Indicating that sometimes the experiences work.
Am I speaking about experiences in my question?
Yeah.
Did I mention experiences in my
No.
question? So why you draw experience in here? Are you with me or not? I tell you the question for the third time. But look here, look here.
Yeah.
Do you go to the movies? I don't always go to the movies. You see this always? Is it
Yeah.
legitimate here or no?
No.
No. So what is always doing here in that question?
I don't know.
But have you seen this as people doing this, you know? They add a word and that changes the nature of the question.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out just for fun. What's always? Why would somebody, do you go to the movie? I don't always go to the movies. What could it be doing here?
Trying to indicate.
Indicate what?
Trying to indicate something which is anomalous.
Which is?
Anomalous.
Anomalous.
Yeah.
But why not say no, I don't, do you go to the movies? Or say either yes, I go to the movies, no, I don't go to the movies. Why add always? What does it do? What is this anomaly? Or you have no clue?
No.
But you do it.
I do, yeah.
You noticed? Had you noticed before you add those words to the questions?
Yeah, I do, but I don't know why.
And you don't know why?
Yeah.
Strange?
Yeah.
Yes. And you do this. But you don't know why you would add always, yes?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Well, how about this one? You want to come eat at my house? I don't always want to come eat at your house.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Well, or can it make sense? As peculiar as it may.
Yeah.
Try it.
Can it make sense?
Can you come eat at my house? Will you come eat at my house? I cannot. I don't want always to eat at your house. Or you have no clue?
No.
Okay. I'll propose to you an analysis, okay, of what this can mean. Actually, I don't want to go. But I don't want to tell you straight. So I'm telling you I don't always want to do it. But actually the real reason, I don't want to do it. But I make it more palatable by saying I don't always want to eat at your house.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense or no?
What was the question that you asked me? No, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Then what is the function of the always in this case then? How would you say it with your
Making
word?
more palatable.
Yes, and what is the person trying to do? What's the preoccupation of this person? Will we propose to you a word you use? Denial.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
So this is a form of denial to put this always there.
Yeah.
Yes? It's funny, isn't it?
Yes.
We find our old friend. Well,
yes.
find our old
We
friend
are getting this.
in this business, okay? So, do experience go with pragmatism? In general. Yes. But you told me not always.
I don't, but yeah.
You told me not always. And always is a form of denying with something which is obvious that, yes, they do go together in general. But by saying not always, you don't want them to be together for other reasons, and you say not always.
Yeah, not
you know
always.
how funny it is? Yes?
Yeah.
Funny, eh?
Yeah.
You get it, you see?
Yeah.
All right. And this trick of not always, you use all the time? You notice you use all the time? Or?
Yeah.
Yes, but you never
No.
picked it up?
No.
All right. And you'll see, because you've used other thing, I don't remember the other word, you used another word earlier which had exactly the same function. All right. So, pragmatism and experience go together in general.
Yes.
So somebody who's basing himself, his wisdom based on pragmatism, somebody who's trusting experience, they sort of the same.
Yeah.
So A and B are not different.
Mm.
So you produce the non-existing distinction.
Mm.
Funny? Yeah.
Mm.
Now, why would someone produce a non-existing distinction in job like this? You know, you talk to people, they say, oh yes, but there isn't that. And you listen, you don't see, you know, have you seen this? You don't see the difference. Have you met this in discussions?
Mm.
Yes?
Mm.
Why would people do this?
Because they're in denial?
Well, well, let's verify this. How can this be a form of denial?
Because you don't want to recognize
Yeah.
whatever is going on.
Okay, you don't want to recognize what's going on.
Yeah.
So you're going to produce a distinction,
Mm.
yeah, as a form of, right?
Mm.
How would you say this? What's the strategy used here? What do you call it? The denial operates in a different way.
Mm.
There, how would you say it? Well, you don't know how to qualify it. Okay.
No.
When I propose to you something, it creates confusion
Yes.
by producing the distinction that does not exist.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
All right. Is that something you're used to doing, producing
Yes.
this? Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And sometimes indeed, does it work and it creates confusion and discussion becomes impossible.
Yeah.
Yes?
Mm.
Somebody ever told you that?
Yes.
Yes. And did you say it was true or no?
Not true.
Not true. Okay. Okay, it's funny. Huh? And so, this confusion being created, does it help to make order, or exactly the contrary?
Disorder.
Disorder. So through the speech, you create disorder.
Yeah.
Yes? So to do the reverse and to have order, what should one do then? Do you remember why you created this distinction? Do you remember?
To cause confusion.
Yes, but what was the reason you tried to cause confusion? Remember?
So you could be in denial.
You can be in denial, right? So what should one do then, therefore? What's the opposite? What's the opposite of denial?
Accept.
To accept. And indeed, with accepting, then avoid creating this confusion. But is it easy to accept?
No, it's not.
No. What's the contrary of easy?
Difficult.
It's difficult. And this difficulty to accept is an experience you know.
Yes.
Yes? And what is the most difficult aspect of acceptance?
Loss.
The loss.
Yeah.
Loss of what?
Loss of a relationship.
Okay, so we're back at the same thing again.
Yeah.
This annihilation,
Yes.
loss of relationship, yes? But when you talk to somebody and you produce distinction that create confusion, what kind of relationship are you creating?
Yeah.
Is there a problem here?
Yeah.
Well, then let's take the reverse. How about if you accept? What's the problem there with in a relationship, in acceptance? Where's the problem?
That you might have done something different and you've done the wrong thing.
You've done the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Okay? You've done the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So you've done the wrong thing.
Made the wrong
Therefore,
decision.
you don't accept.
Yeah, you
You
made
don't
the wrong
accept?
decision.
Okay. Now, how does making the wrong decision annihilate someone? How does that go?
Because you lose.
You lose what?
You lose what you had.
And what is it you had?
Your life.
Well,
Your relationship.
yeah, but wait a minute. How is it making your own decision make you lose your life?
Because it's not the way you envisaged it. It's
It's
different. It's not what you planned.
yeah, but suppose that something happens else than you plan. How does that make you lose your life?
Because it's not what you want.
So for you, your life is what you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh? My life is what I want.
Yeah.
Now, suppose you educate children, don't you?
That's very childish, isn't it?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
What's childish about it? What is
Yeah.
tell me, what is childish about it? Tell us.
It's like that the world has to conform.
Okay.
Yeah.
The world has to conform to what?
To the way you want it to be.
Okay, to what I want. Huh?
Yeah, what I want.
To what I
Yeah.
want, yes.
Yeah.
And that's childish.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know that feeling
Yes.
of wanting the world to conform to what you want.
Yes.
Yes?
It's a form of control.
It's a form of control.
Yeah.
Yes? Yeah. But independently of the fact that it's childish, what is going on? A person that thinks, if the world is not conformed to what I want, my life vanishes, my life annihilates.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I don't know, it's ridiculous.
Well, if I make you feel better in a way, to be ridiculous has a lot to do for me with human existence. You know, we do a lot of ridiculous things. So the hard job is, okay, maybe it's ridiculous, but it's trying to find what is the meaning of this, you know?
Yeah.
What is it that we want?
Yeah.
In other words, what would someone want so desperately to have the world conform to what he wants? Why? For example, do you like traveling?
Yeah.
So when you go to a foreign, exotic country, yes?
Mm.
Do you want that country to be like you want or like it is?
Like it is.
So you're capable of wanting something to be like it is.
Yeah.
So why is it that country, you don't want it to be like you want, but like it is? Why is that?
Because you want to experience something outside yourself.
Okay,
Yeah.
experience something outside of yourself. So, when you want the world to conform to what you want, do you want to experience something outside of yourself?
No.
No. What is it that you want to experience? Which is the contrary? What is the contrary of something outside of
Don't want
yourself?
it to be foreign, I want it to be
So
secure.
what's the contrary of something outside of yourself?
Something that you know.
Something you know.
Yeah.
But what's the contrary of outside?
Foreign, strange.
The contrary,
Alien.
the contrary of outside is alien.
Oh, the contrary of outside
Yeah.
is familiar.
Familiar.
Safe.
Safe. So you want to be safe. And where is
Yes.
it that you're safe? Outside?
No.
No, where are you safe? Don't think too much. What is
Nowhere.
it about telling the little Red Riding Hood? Where is it safe?
Nowhere.
Outside? Well, what's the contrary of outside?
Inside.
Inside.
Yeah.
Is it safe inside?
No, I don't think it is.
Well, if it's, you know, if you, something's outside of yourself is what is dangerous, therefore what is safe? Pure logical?
Inside.
Inside. Why does it bother you?
Because it doesn't feel safe.
Well, is it that it doesn't feel safe or you think it's not safe?
It's not safe.
And why is it not safe?
It's unpredictable.
It's unpredictable. But what is more unpredictable, the outside or the inside? What is more predictable, outside or inside?
Outside.
Outside is more predictable.
Yeah.
Let's go back in the street. Hey people, what is more predictable, outside or inside? What do they say?
Inside.
So what are you doing
I
here?
don't know.
You do this on purpose?
No.
Well, you know, ask anyone, you know, what is more predictable? They'll tell you inside.
Yeah.
And you say it's outside more predictable.
Because they don't feel predictable.
Yes, but you want the world to conform to what you want.
Yes, I have an
Yes.
idea.
And what you want, is that inside or outside?
Inside.
And the world, where is the outside or inside?
Outside.
So you want the outside to conform to the inside.
Yes.
Yes. Alright, so you don't want to go to exotic places, you want to go with the way things are, and you want the outside to conform to this. And indeed, what seems safer indeed? You know, to risk the outside that we don't know, or just to be, that things outside conform to what we are? What seems safer?
This is not the dichotomy that is.
Don't worry, just try to answer my
Okay.
question. Or is there something bothering you in this dichotomy?
Yes.
It's bothering you?
Yes.
Why is it bothering you?
Because am I allowed to have an explanation? Am I allowed to tell you no?
let's
Do I have what's
see.
bothering
Try.
you?
What's bothering you?
The inside doesn't feel safe, but I have an idea of what would feel safe, and then I want to make the world like the idea that I have of what it would be to be
Alright.
safe.
But it's not safe, but it's still safer than outside.
Yes.
Alright.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, somebody who thinks outside, inside is not safe. Outside is not safe, but it's even worse than inside.
Yeah.
Does that person live in a safe world or no? Does that person feel safe globally?
No.
No place is safe.
Yeah.
Now that person is going to be scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that person can be a coward. Makes sense.
Yes.
So there's fear all over the place.
Yes.
Inside, outside.
Yes.
But at least, even though inside is fearful, at least you know a little bit more. So you want the outside to be like the inside.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
Now, when you see this person, is that person centered on herself or on others?
Centered on herself.
Now, does that make sense? That person doesn't know what the relationship is.
Yeah.
Does that surprise you?
Yeah.
Does that surprise you?
In a way, it does. Yeah, I never thought of
Well,
that.
does it make any sense?
Yes.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And indeed, some people even tell you that. You know, you're in yourself, you're not with me or with us.
Yes.
Right? And you
Yes.
tell them it's true or false.
I thought it was false.
Yes, but does it make sense based on what we see here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay? Feels strange.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you know, and indeed, if a person ignores how she is, can this person have an ordered life?
No.
No. What is that going to provoke in her life?
Confusion.
Confusion.
Yeah.
And this experience of confusion is something you're familiar with?
Oh yeah.
Yes. So, now based on, we've seen all this, what do you think is the best bet to have an ordered life? Out of all this.
To perhaps engage, connect more with the outside world.
Connect with the outside. But is that easy or hard? Hard.
Yeah.
What's the hardest thing to connect with the outside? What idea? What's the hardest thing?
What's the hardest thing?
Yeah.
Fear.
Fear.
Yes.
Fear of what?
Fear that I won't understand what's happening. I won't
That
understand.
you won't understand.
Yeah.
Okay? And what is the function of that? What is the place where we understand? Where is the function of understanding?
Fear.
The head,
Yeah.
right? And we saw earlier indeed that, you know, you had difficulty.
Yeah.
Yes? All right. And why do you think you won't understand? What's the reason?
Because I don't get things right with respect to people. I get them wrong.
Only to people or other things?
No people.
Only to people?
Yeah.
So you understand things, but not people?
Yeah.
Other things than people you understand?
Yes.
But not people?
Yes.
And what's so particular about people that makes it hard to understand?
I misjudge them.
You misjudge them?
Yes.
And why?
Why?
Yeah, why do you misjudge them? You don't seem to say you misjudge the rest of the world. Why would you misjudge people?
I don't know.
And in other words, if we listen to you, what is more foreign to you? People or other things?
People.
People. So there again, that conforms as somebody that is not in relation.
Yes.
But did you see now all this speech about relation?
Yes.
Was it real or was it false?
Unreal.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Now we should not be surprised. You had a hard time determining what the how do I say, the relation that matters is.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Surprising?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I tell you, why don't we just stop here? But I'd like to take a few minutes just to say, to make your assessment of the exercise.
Yes.
You like it? Didn't like it? Whatever you think.
Revealing. It's very revealing.
Revealing of what?
Of how I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And that surprises you?
Yeah.
And why is that, you think?
Because it makes sense. It makes sense now of.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
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 And what surprised you the most in all this?
That I'm unrealistic.
Unrealistic.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's something at the same time that you had heard,
Yeah.
that you
But I
knew,
did not believe it.
but did not believe it.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. And, okay. Do you have any other comments about the exercise? Or just let's see.
I think it's a good way to get you to be clear about yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Socrates' principle, know thyself.
Yes.
And it's true. Did you think you knew yourself better than that?
I did.
You
Yeah.
did.
But
Are you okay with it, or it bothers you?
no. I think. Yeah, it does bother me a bit.
It bothers you.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah. Mm.
All right. Any other comment? Or this?
fast.
It's fast.
Yeah.
It's 1 hour.
Yeah.
But we see a lot of things in 1 hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point of having somebody else question you.
Yeah. And not letting you
Yes, go away.
go off.
And
Yeah.
add the words that change questions.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're good?
Yeah.
All right. Good.
Thank you.
Okay.